Steve Bentley here, and I wanted to give you some information on how to get through the cleanse properly. Fasting days, your cleanse days, starting next Monday. So Monday, Tuesday is going to be the start of your third week, and we want to make sure that you're actually doing the best thing possible to help those impurities get flushed out of your system. But we're also going to do it as part of a fasting day. So I have a different way of doing the cleansing because I want to make sure that you're going to get the benefits, not just from the cleansing and the cellular cleansing and getting those toxins and impurities out of your system, but also the benefits of fasting, because they're not quite the same. If you're eating a lot of things on a cleansing day, then what's likely going to happen is that your body is not going to get into that deep fasted state that we're looking for, because there's so many great benefits that we're going to talk about in a minute. But first of all, so it's about Wednesday right now, it's about midweek, so we want to make sure that over the next 4 or 5 days you're doing the most things possible to get your body ready for those couple of cleansing and fasting days. Number one of those is drinking water. You really want to hydrate effectively. Just drink lots of water. That's going to bring a lot of hydration into your system and get your cells functioning better. If you want to look at a particular amount, then think about your goal ideal lean body weight. So not, let's say you've got 60 pounds to lose and you're 200 pounds. You're not picking 200 pounds as your weight. You're going to pick what's your goal ideal lean body weight. Let's say it's 140 pounds. So you're going to take a half an ounce minimum to an ounce of each pound that you weigh. So if your goal weight is 140 pounds, you're going to be looking at about 70 to 140 ounces of water that you're going to be drinking over the course of the day. So those little 500 milliliter water bottles, these things here, that's 2 glasses right there. That's about 8 ounces. So you would think if that's 16 ounces, you're going to be drinking like 5 or 6 of these a day if your goal weight is 140 pounds. So if you just had one of these every hour or 2 through the day, more or less, you're going to be drinking the right amount of water. It's also important to hydrate and get electrolytes into your system. So one of the things that I like people to do is use a pink Himalayan sea salt. Just put a little bit of this in your water regularly. It doesn't have to be in everything of water that you're drinking, but about 1/4 of a teaspoon or 1/8 of a teaspoon, somewhere in there, per bottle to cup of water, right? So whatever is to taste for you. It doesn't really matter. You just want to get more electrolytes into your system, because if you're drinking too much water, my background is in endurance sports. I've been a professional endurance sports coach for almost 30 years now. If people just drink a lot of water, they run the risk of getting hyponatremic. That means they're really lowering their concentration of electrolytes and salts in their system, and you don't want to do that. And if you're just drinking a lot of water, you're going to flush those minerals out of your body. You're not going to maintain osmotic balance, and you're not going to feel good, and things aren't going to work properly. So it's important to get good water, good electrolytes into your system. 2 other things I want you to think about this week before you get into the actual cleansing days next Monday and Tuesday. Number 1 is fiber. We want to make sure you're getting good fiber into your meals over the course of the rest of this week, and here's why. Yeah, you're going to be excreting a lot of these impurities out through your urine. That's why we want you to drink a lot, but we also want you to get hydrated in your intestines so that you don't get constipated. But the other thing is the fiber coming in there is going to draw the impurities in and absorb onto that fiber. We don't want them going into your intestines, have nowhere to get absorbed, and then get reabsorbed in through your intestinal lining. That's no bueno. We don't want that. We want to make sure that you're giving your body that fiber through the course of this week here, so that when you get into next Monday, Tuesday, you've got that fiber in your intestines to hold on to those impurities so you can shuttle them out of your system eventually. So finally, the mental benefits. You know, understand, for me anyways, I like to explain to people why they're doing something, because when they understand why they're doing something, it's a lot easier to do it, especially when it gets difficult. And some of these days can be tough. And in fact, you want them to be difficult, because without things that are difficult or uncomfortable or a stress, there's really nothing happening in your system. So if it's super, super simple, you're probably not really doing a whole lot, or maybe you're not doing it properly. So we want to make sure that it's a little uncomfortable so that you can actually create a change in your system, because stress is good. It's how your body adapts to it. Stress response is how we grow and we get better. So one of the things I want you to think about is it's not just about losing fat. Yeah, awesome to cleanse out toxins from your system so you can go in there and access that fat for fuel, because the fat doesn't need to be holding on to the toxins anymore. But an even better benefit is all the health aspects that are going to kick in from the fasting component of what you're doing. So yeah, you're going to get toxins out of your system. Those impurities are going to get shuttled out. You're going to be healthier just because of that. Yes, you're going to burn some excess fat. Yeah, you're probably going to release some excess inflammation, that inflammatory water that's hanging out that you don't want. Those are all great benefits. But the fasting itself, and this is why I don't like people eating on a cleansing day, the fasting is so powerful, because when you start to get into that fasted state, your body panics a little bit, obviously, you're not eating anything. And then what happens is it starts to go through this process called autophagy. It's this programmed death of cells in your system. It doesn't go after healthy cells. It goes after those old, inefficient, dying cells, the cells that are destined to be recycled and replaced. We want to speed that process up. So I love to do fasting and cleansing days because of the benefits, not necessarily because of how I feel when I'm going through it or what I have to give up, but I love the benefits because I want to recycle those old inefficient cells, get them out of my system. I'm also going to take advantage of the fact that when I'm going through a couple of fasting days, I'm going to dramatically improve my growth hormone and my adrenaline levels. I'm going to take advantage of that by doing a couple things. Number one, especially in the first day, I'm going to go out and I'm going to do some kind of aerobic activity where I'm going to burn through some glycogen. I want to get rid of that muscle glycogen that I've got sitting in my system and my muscles in my liver. I want to burn that up so that I don't have access to that for energy. So I want to have to get kicked into that fat adaptation state, which I've been doing for years, so I'm really good at it. But I want to maximize the benefits of that and lean out a little bit more, because it's always good to rip off a little bit of excess fat here and there, especially if that stuff that's accumulating in around your organs. The fasting is going to help you do that, especially once you get into that fat adapted state. So the less you eat on these cleansing days, the more your body has to go after that fat for fuel and energy. The more you're likely going to get fat adapted, the more ketosis you're going to pull into your system, or the state of ketosis is going to increase, and you're going to be able to get better at accessing that for energy and then also getting fat adapted. So those are some really big benefits. But because I'm also generating so much growth hormone, I'm going to take advantage of that, and I'm actually going to go out and work out. I'm actually going to go work out hard. I'm not going to take it easy. Now, here's a caveat. If you're just new into this, and this is probably one of your first couple of cleansing days that you've ever done, just chill, take it easy. Don't think about going out and doing anything too intense. Go for a walk, burn through a bit of glycogen, that's cool. Save the other intense stuff for down the road when you're cleansing and you know how you're going to respond. I've been doing this for 12 years now, so I've got a really good understanding of how I'm going to feel on a cleansing day. I actually go to the gym and I hit it hard. And I actually, because of the generation of growth hormone and adrenaline that I'm doing, I'm actually going to be able to push harder and more weight in the gym on a cleansing day than I ever can not cleansing. Sounds weird because we're not eating anything. But if you think about it, most of the time when, well, at least for me, most of my athletes that I coach, when they're doing workouts, they're usually doing them in a fasted state because they're so fat adapted to begin with. They don't need to eat before a workout in order to give their body that energy. So we're going to take advantage of that by going through that. And one of the big cells that starts to get regenerated early in that process is your immune cells. So those are really important to keep healthy. We want to make sure our immune system is functioning effectively so that when things start to attack our body or cells within start to go haywire, that immune system is actually functioning properly and can go in there and do its job. So when you start eating, how that works is your stem cells start to help your body regenerate those newer, fresher, healthier cells. So I'm 53 years old, and about 5 weeks from now, I don't feel it, I don't look it. I am stronger now than I've ever been in my life, and it's because of regular fasting days and cleansing to get those toxins out and force the regeneration of healthy cells. Okay, so here we go. During the cleanse, so next Monday and Tuesday, this is what you're going to do. So number one, you're going to take an accelerator capsule in the morning. These are great. Apple cider vinegar, cinnamon, cayenne pepper, good blood sugar balancing system. Take one of those in the morning, one at noon. Okay, it's probably about the only thing you're going to be actually eating through the course of the day. That and the IsaFlush. So if you're in Canada, this is called IsaComfort. If you're in the UK or Australia, I think it's called IsaMove. But here in the US, it's called IsaFlush. Don't panic from the name. It's not going to flush anything out. Okay, that's what you're going to be doing. You're also going to be drinking the water through the day and the electrolytes, as we talked about doing normally every day. And then a lot of people have coffee in the morning or tea. Just make it black. Yes, you could probably have some oil and fat and such in your coffee, but just don't, right? Just mentally be strong. Just have some black coffee first thing in the morning. You're going to be dialed in. You're going to have no problems doing that because of what you've gone through for the last couple of weeks on the program. This is going to work great, and these are going to be the easiest cleansing days you've ever done in your life. So how you're specifically going to do that is with the cleansing drink. I've got some powder here, so if you've got the liquid, that's great. You're going to do 1 scoop of powder every 2 hours, or you're going to do 2 ounces of the liquid every hour. So we've got some cleansing bottles here, right? So you're going to have either one of these every other hour through the course of the day, or you're going to have 1 scoop of powder every other hour. The normal recommended amount on a cleansing day would be 2 scoops of powder every 4 hours, or 4 ounces of liquid, so 2 of these, every 4 hours. I find that's too much time in between your input of the Cleanse for Life drink. So what I want to do is have a little less coming into your system, and I'll tell you why in a second, a little less, but more often. So these days, that's about 40 grams of carbohydrates that you're bringing into your system. So it's more than double what you've probably been getting in over the first 2 weeks of the program. So you're going to bring lots of carbs into your system, but no proteins or fats. So if you're measuring your blood ketone levels, don't panic when they start to drop down over the course of your cleansing days. They will come right back up again when you start eating normally on Wednesday. We'll talk about that at the end. So 2 ounces of the cleanse drink or 1 scoop of the powder every other hour, no food through the course of the day. Because here's what happens. When you start eating something, your body says a couple of things. Number one, it says, hey, we're not starving. We don't need to get into this fasted state, because you're not fasting if you're eating. Okay, you're not. When you're drinking this cleansing drink, there's enough carbs in that to start to pull you out of that fasted state. So what I always like to do is spread it out. That's why I do half as much, but more often, and drink a lot of water with that. So you're really dampening the effect of those sugars and carbs coming into your system. When you do that, you're going to get into a great fasted state, and your body's going to get the benefits of the fasting. And if you're eating something, if you're having little snacks or chocolates or whey thins or whatever, you're not fasting. So you can do that if all you care about is cleansing, but understand you're not in that fasted state if you're eating. Here's the other thing that happens if you eat things through the course of the day. Your body keeps waiting for that next hit of fuel. It says, hey, if you're going to keep eating, I'm not going to go through the effort and trouble of learning how to get and be fat adapted. So I'm not going to go in and burn as much fat on a cleansing/fasting day if you're going to keep feeding me every couple of hours. But if you stop eating first thing in the morning, right, or from the night before, so you just have your black coffee or tea in the morning, you have your cleansing drink every other hour over the course of the day, so you're doing a total of 8 scoops of powder or 16 ounces of liquid. If you're just doing that, your body's going to panic and get into that fasted state, so it's going to start to get fat adapted and go burn fat way more effectively than if you're eating something through the course of the day. The snacks are important. They are there if you really, really need them, but most people don't really, really need them. Are you going to be hungry? Yes, you're going to be hungry. You're not eating anything. Of course you're going to be hungry. But utilize that as a sign that your body's actually going in and doing what it needs to. So hunger is not going to kill you, okay? And if you stop eating, what's going to happen is by the end of that day, you're actually going to feel way better than you ever would if you ate a little bit through the course of the day. Trust me, it is crazy how well it works. If you don't believe me, take some time. Make some messages in the group over the course of the week. Ask people who've been doing this for a while how they fared by doing it this way. They'll tell you without fail, it's just so much easier. They feel so much better. They have so much more energy. And by the next morning when you wake up, you probably won't even be worrying about food. It's just boring to go through it. You're going to be looking forward to eating, but you're not going to be that hungry. And in fact, you do that again the second day. Get out and exercise again if you've been doing this for a while. And by the third morning, you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, dude, I could totally do this again today. Totally. And Michelle and I will do that every couple of months. We're going to go do a 3-day fast because the immune boosting benefits from doing a cleanse/fast for 3 days, 72 plus hours is amazing. But here's what's going to happen. You're going to be actually doing this for over 60 hours anyways, because when you stop eating the night before on Sunday night at 7 p.m., and you don't have your next meal until 11 a.m. on Wednesday, because you're going to wake up Wednesday morning and have your coffee with your, your butter, your oil, your ghee, your MCT, whatever. When you have that on the morning on Wednesday, that's not going to pull you out of the fast per se, but now you're starting to get that energy back into your system. If you hold out later into that day, hang out for as long as possible. You're going to get some amazing benefits, but you really only need to do it for 2 days. So by 11 o'clock, get back into that shake, and then on the third week now, we can replace that 2 scoops of Isopro, right, or 1 scoop of Isopro, or 1.5 scoops, depending on your protein requirements. We can do a half and half mix of Isopro and Isoline shake. And I'll tell you right now, after 2 weeks of Isopro, dude, that Isoline/Isopro shake is going to be the best tasting shake you've ever had. It's going to be so good. It's like Christmas morning. Okay, one final thing. I think there's a video in the group somewhere of me doing a bounce and shake exercise regarding the exercise component. If you don't want to go out and do something intense or long, and you're not too sure if you want to do long-term intense exercise, do a bounce and shake exercise. It's really effective at clearing your lymphatic system through your body, getting things moving so that you can pull more impurities out of your system. So go to Google, Google John Gray, you know, the men are from Mars, women are from Venus guy, and Google John Gray bounce and shake. If you do that, it's kind of like very quickly I'll do it. It's just, you're going to be standing like this with your hands on your side. You're just bouncing up and down on the balls of your feet. And then you're just gradually, over the course of about 5 minutes, you're just gradually lifting your hands up. This is way speeded, right? But you're just gradually lifting your hands up so that you're way over your head. And then you're gradually going to come down. It's going to take about 5 minutes to get your hands up. Another 5 minutes of just bouncing up and down like this to bring them back down. By the time you're done, you're going to be tingling. It's an amazing clearing system for getting your lymphatics moving through your body so that your body can pull those impurities out, because that's where a lot of toxins they reside. We want to get those flushed out. So anyways, that's about it. Oh yeah, vitamins. If you've got vitamins, I typically skip them during the course of a cleansing day. If you want to take them, you can. These are such great high quality vitamins that they're not likely going to cause any issue in your system digestively. But if you feel like skipping them, that's totally cool. Do that. But other than that, enjoy the process. Make sure you get good hydration and electrolyte balance into your system this week. Get that fiber in, whether it's Fiber Pro or psyllium husk powder or chia seeds, or avocados have good fiber, or fiber-rich vegetables, things like that. Get that into your system so your intestines have that sort of as a receiving system for those impurities that get dumped into your intestines. Drink lots of water so you can get those toxins out through your kidneys. And that's about it. Enjoy the process, keep up the great work, and let us know how you're doing. Cheers, bye.